In India, at least 11 people died of heat stroke this week. Schools and colleges in some provinces have been closed. Well, Bangladesh is seeing its highest temperatures in almost 60 years, and seasonal rains have so far failed to appear. Regions across China are reporting record April highs and many wildfires, with the hottest months of the year still to come. In Thailand, the mercury surpassed 45 degrees Celsius for the first time ever on Friday.
Look, I can't tell you how long these specific heat wave will last, but it is likely that there will be extended periods of extreme temperatures associated with the longer-term impact of climate change. As I said, making heat waves in Asia more intense, more frequent, and over larger
Ais semakin
areas.
mencair. Gunung berapi kini mula aktif di Antartika dan suhu di Kutub Utara bukan membeku tetapi hanya suam saja. Semua petunjuk itu adalah kesan daripada pemanasan global yang tidak pernah berlaku tetapi semakin mendekatkan negara dunia termasuk Malaysia kepada kiamat iklim.
Saintis telah mengiyakan fakta ini. Kalaulah Antartika ni tebal air batunya ialah 2.3 km. Sekarang tadi diumumkan 2.5 km ke bawah. Yang di atas tu hanya lebih kurang 100, yang kita nampak macam bongkah tu lebih kurang 130 meter. Tapi yang bawah tu 2.3 km. Kalau keseluruhan 50% daripada Antartika ini mencair, apa akan berlaku? Limpahan ombak, tsunami, banjir yang teruk, akan berlaku landslide dan macam-macam bencana bumi. Ini yang saya katakan klimat iklim. Di Antartika ada sebuah gunung berapi dan gunung berapi ini sudah pun activate, sudah hidup, dan seluruh kawasan gunung berapi ini sudah panas dan tak ada salji langsung.
Hello, Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum.
Alright, are you ready, Ustaz?
Alhamdulillah, insyaAllah ready, Aunty. How are you, Aunty?
Not that good. I caught a flu and I'm resting at home at the moment. I hope that you are fit as well.
Yeah, insyaAllah, Aunty. I cannot wait actually for this session.
Alright, I'm looking forward to this session as well. Bismillah. Alright. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a wonderful evening. I bid to my respected guests, partners, dearest teachers, parents, students, friends, and to all of the listeners out there. Thank you very much for tuning in to our live Facebook today from our beloved school, Brani Bunch International Islamic Montessori School. For the first timer, I would like to welcome to our Facebook Live. Alhamdulillah, now we are back with another new series after a period of resting to give way to Ramadan last time and Raya celebration. Still, I hope tonight's session will bring something new to the table and hopefully get to enlighten the audience on the subject being discussed. Without further ado, I would like to introduce myself as the host for today. I am Aunty Kartini. Most of my students call me Aunty Tini. I am the head of the homeroom unit and reporting under the high school department, and together with me tonight, who is joining us for our sharing session, Ustaz Abdullah as the Vice Principal Admin. Okay, tonight we will bring you a topic that we are currently dealing with right now all across Malaysia and in some parts of Asia. Heat wave, a sign of Allah's greatness in times of trial. I believe that the term heat wave doesn't appear new to the audience, especially those who have already felt the changes of the temperature in Malaysia since January. I do admit that it's getting hotter now in some parts of Malaysia, and if you scroll through your phones, the news on the soaring temperature are in every nook and corner of the social media. If you go through your Instagram, if you go through your TikToks, the news is everywhere, right? So the question is, what is going on with our Earth right now? Is it a seasonal monsoon change? Or are we experiencing climate change? Is it going to be a problem for me? Is it going to be a problem for my family? Or is it going to affect my daily routine? And as a Muslim, I think that this is the sign for me to actually start repenting and multiply my amalan. And some might say that this is the sign of the last hour, or the last hour is coming near. Does Allah actually put a reminder for us in some way, and how should we take on this? For some thoughts on this current situation and questions that keeps on lingering in our mind. I have on the line with us Ustaz Abdullah. On behalf of the audience, would you mind to elaborate further on what is actually heat waves?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, thank you, Auntie Tini. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah, praise be to Allah Subhanahu wa Taala for him finally for us finally to meet again in this session. I think just like Anthony said just now, we have been stopped this session for a while. Alhamdulillah, Allah Subhanahu wa Taala give us chance today to continue this live session. Okay, so back to your question, Auntie. To put it simple, heat wave ni is a period of time where the temperature is very hot. It's very hot until you feel like you are staying inside the oven. The temperature during that time, we can say that it's over than normal Celsius, which is around Celsius or can be higher. Sun is extra strong. It feels like the sun is turning up the heat and makes everything hot outside. Memang during that time, sun memang perform lah time tu. So during a heat wave, it is hard to cool down because the air around us becomes like an invisible blanket that traps the heat. So it's quite dangerous to human being if you stay outside for a long time and doing kerja-kerja or activities yang will memenatkan. And this kind of condition is really appears in March and April.
Usually in March and April. Okay. As what you have said, the temperature increase that we should be alert is between 35 to 37, and that is true. A report from the Sabah Health Department said that the heat wave is a period of a time where the temperature exceeds the normal maximum average degree, and in Malaysia, heat wave is considered. It's classified when the average daily maximum temperature exceeds 37 degrees Celsius for 3 consecutive days. So the public must always be on alert and keep tabs on the daily temperature and weather conditions. Like me myself, I have been keeping up to date with the current temperature in Malaysia for the past few weeks. From my experience, from what I have seen on the website, Meteorological Malaysia website, there are no changes in terms of degree reported until today. The Met Malaysia has just updated a level 1 warning, which means that some of the areas there's an increase in temperature in some areas in Kuala Kerai, Rao, some parts of Pahang, Temerloh, Bera, Bentong, and Rompin. Okay, just to let everyone know that there are 4 levels of alert. Level 1 is warning level between 35 degree to 37 degree. Level 2, it means a heat wave warning. Your area should feel an increase between 37 to 40 degree, and if it's at level 3, meaning that it's already a red alert, or you are experiencing extreme heat wave, which is above 40. I believe if we reach this point, this level, there are some urgency that we need to take. So this is quite an alarming issue when knowing that this is happening to us. So, well, Ustaz, from your observation and your reading, how is the current condition of the heat wave in Malaysia, or the heat situation in Malaysia's heat environment?
Okay, from my reading, I can say that in Malaysia, a heat wave alert is issued when the average daily maximum temperature exceeds 37 degrees Celsius for 3 consecutive days. Okay, as in Malaysia, according to Jabatan Meteorologi Malaysia, early of May is the time of southwest monsoon, which causes less clouds forming rains. So when there is no rain cloud, that means no rains, which will make the hot weather continue for a long period. But Alhamdulillah, at the moment for affected areas, cloud seeding is being carried out immediately with the help of the Royal Malaysian Air Force, or we can call RMAF, and the Environment Department. I would like to share with all of the audience and today that the information that I get from the Meteorological Department from through its Deputy Director General Muhammad Isham Anif, that he said that the heat wave is likely to end by June as the high temperatures will gradually drop by then. That means the temperature, the weather on June is still hotter than normal, but not going to be as hot as in April and May. which is current month, and it's going to be dropped gradually until September. So let's hope and let's pray to Allah that they will gradually drop by then, as you know, because we can only expect, can only forecast. But at the end of the day, everything is on the irada of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everything is on Allah. Inshallah.
Inshallah, let's hope that everything will be fine. From your own personal experience, that since you yourself living in nearby Sabajai, have you felt any differences in terms of temperature when carrying out your daily routine? As I'm sure you are an active individual as well, you like to go out and exercise. So have you been dealing with any difficulties with the current temperature going on?
Yes, I can say that it's I am not yes, I admit that I am an active person. I love to jogging. I love to jogging, but because of the heat wave, I need to sacrifice my jogging time. So that's why if you notice that I'm bigger than my size. But I change my routine to do the jogging in the morning, because you know, to prevent the hot weather during the day. I can say that during that I was doing the matter, even though it's more hotter than usual. Quite challenging.
Quite challenging, yeah. We have been advised, especially for the publics, we have been advised to not keep sitting or keep doing activities under the sun. If you feel that the temperature is not good for you, then you better find the shaded area or move away from that place, or try to be inside as much as possible rather than go outside and do your activities. Because again, increasing temperature would lead to other difficulties, majorly your health. So we don't want that to happen. So that's why we try to avoid it as much as possible. So moving forward to why we should keep this heat issue as a concern for us, the public, most of it. What are the impacts that it will have on us? Will it impede our social activities? Oh, okay. I believe Ustad is lagging. Okay. Yeah.
Sorry, Auntie.
Lagging. Yeah, it's quite glitchy from my part as well. I can see that you are frozen in the frame, kind of not moving. Can you hear me at the moment, Ustad? Okay. I believe Ustaz Abdullah is currently facing with the technical issues, specifically maybe his Wi-Fi connection. There's a problem with his Wi-Fi connection. Okay, you're back. I mean, that
Yes,
should be.
Auntie. Sorry, Auntie. Yeah, it's my internet connection.
I see. Okay. I thought it was my connection. Okay, so since if you can hear my voice and if your line is clear right now, can you hear me? Is that?
Yes, I can hear.
Okay, I'm sorry everyone about the technicalities that involved just now. All right. Okay, so moving forward as to why we should keep this heat issue as a concern for us, the public. Okay, especially what are the impacts that it will have on us? Will it impede our social activities? Like I said just now, you like to do outside activities like jogging or whatnot. So does it mean that we have to stay home all the time, or how? What's your thoughts on this? What are the effects that it can have on us?
Okay, talking about effect, Auntie, talking about financially, of course, it will affect some people. For example, it will affect for example, and then also during heat wave, of course, electric bills, of course, will raise up because of there is the usage as air conditioning and refrigeration units in homes and office work hard to keep indoors cooler. Okay, this thing happened also in Brainy Bunch. If you still remember, I think last 2 weeks we had a lot of messages from our teachers. Minta tolong the maintenance team to look after their aircon in their respective class because the aircon.
That's true.
It is because I was following up with the maintenance team, asking what happened, what's the problem, and they said
That was the main problem.
it's because the hot weather, which makes the what we call outside compressor, the aircon compressor needs to work harder. Okay, so it's one of the effect lah. And then of course, if we are talking about health, of course, obviously the most popular is the heat stroke. You know, have you heard about heat stroke?
Yeah, I've heard about
it's
that.
a stroke harbor, right? It's a condition
stroke.
where our body is overheated. It happens when the body can no longer control its temperature. The body's temperature rises rapidly, and then the sweating mechanism fails to work, and then the body is unable to cool down. It's quite dangerous. I think we had a lot of cases in Malaysia. If you remember, last time we had ada seorang budak, I'm not sure in which state, but meninggal because of this heat stroke. So actually, this heat wave comes with test, comes with a lot of ujian from Allah Subhanahu wa Taala.
True enough, Ustaz. I think one of the major impacts will be on the health level of the public. Prolonged heat conditions could lead to health complications such as what you have said just now: heat stroke, heat exhaustion, dehydration, hypothermia as well. You have mentioned earlier heat stroke. I think last 2 weeks I got an information from one of my friends. She was affected with heat exhaustion. It's quite different from heat stroke. There's a subtle differences lah, but then it's part of the heat illnesses as well lah. And from the last time that I read, the health minister reported that there are 14 cases that involve with heat related illnesses, and I think they managed to get a treatment and 13 of them recovered, alhamdulillah lah.
Alhamdulillah.
Kan. So listeners out there, advice to you, always need to be alert on the early signs of the heat stroke, especially those who falls under these categories, high risk categories lah. Those with chronic illnesses such as heart disease, diabetes, those who age 65 years and above, the elderly lah, maybe our grandpa and our grandmas lah. So they have to be careful on early symptoms of heat illnesses. Other than that would be children below the age of 5, and active individuals who likes to do sportsmen and sportswomen who like to go out on the day. Try to minimize your activities, or if you really want to exercise yourself outside of your house, please do that when the sun is not at the highest temperature. All right, this is to avoid yourself from any untoward accidents. All right. Now I would like to move closer to our topic. The believers would look in a definitely different scope. We consider this heat environment as a trial and tribulations coming from the Lord, right? So as a practicing Muslim, where do we put ourselves, or how should we look at this trial as a test from Allah?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this, Ustaz?
Okay. Abdullah, sorry, you were lagging just now. I think it's mine.
Oh, I'm making it. Okay.
Can I continue?
Yeah, sure. You can continue. Did you get the question just now?
Okay, Auntie. Okay. Yes, I heard. Okay.
Okay.
First and foremost, Auntie, we must always remember that heat wave can, like any other natural phenomena, they can be considered as a part of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala's creation. They are also makhluk of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, just like me, just like you, just like every one of us, just like the rest of the makhluk. And one thing that we must always remember, Auntie, a makhluk can never give mudarat, and makhluk can never give benefit to others without the will of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Just like in the hadith of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that we can find in the hadith 40, hadith wa'lam anna al-ummata law ijtama'at ala an yanfa'uka bi syai' lam yanfa'uka illa bi syai'in qad katabaha Allahu lak. Wa in ijtama'u ala an yadurruka bi syai' lam yadurruka illa bi syai'in qad katabahu Allah alayk. The meaning is, know that if the nation were together to benefit you with anything, they would benefit you except if Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala had already planned for you. And if they were together to harm you with anything, they wouldn't harm you except with what Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala had already planned for you. So actually, it is Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala who is the one who can give us mudarat and benefit. And of course, it is just part of His test to us to see the level of our faith and the level of our iman. I remember one verse, ayat Al-Quran, in Surah Al-Quran, are people going to think that we are going to leave them easily like that once they say, we believe in you, Allah. Okay, so orang-orang ni ingat Allah akan tinggalkan macam tu je ke kalau once we say, oh Allah, we believe in you, and wahum la yuftanun, but they didn't get test. Of course, Allah Ta'ala will test us. Just want nak tengok how deep, how strong is our faith. Because why? In the next ayat, Allah Ta'ala said, وَلَقَدْ فَتَنَّ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ فَلَيَعْلَمَنَّ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ صَدَقُوا وَلَيَعْلَمَنَّ الْكَاذِبِينَ. Indeed, we have tested people before you, the previous people, and then from that test, we can show to the rest of the people which one among them who's telling the truth and which one among them who's telling the lie. Okay, I think so. That's why we must always reflect. We must remember this. It is just a test from Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Want to see the level of our iman. Inshallah.
Level of our faith. Oh, Allah, it struck straight to my heart. Okay, in my humblest view lah, I would say that Allah put a test on us, specifically this one of the tests lah, that He is putting a trial on us is to check our faith in Him. And I also believe that it also acts as a kind of a sort of a reminder to us. Don't you think so, Ustad?
Yes. In particular, we can also it can serve as a reminder of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Reminder from Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Honestly, auntie, when we are talking about hot weather, when we are talking about something hot, burning, first thing that comes to my mind is a verse from Allah Subhanahu, is a verse of Al-Quran from Surah At-Taubah. فرح المخلفون بمقعدهم خلاف رسول الله وكرهوا أن يجاهدوا بأموالهم وأنفسهم في سبيل الله. Those people who remained behind, actually this ayat talking about munafik people who refuse to go out and join Prophet Muhammad. Ada sahabat jihad with them, they're happy, they think they are staying at home after the departure of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and then they in sarcastic way they said to those who are going, wa qalu la tanfiru fil har, tak yalah nak pergi berperang pada panas ni, lebih kurang macam tu lah. Okay, no need, do not go forth in the heat. And then Allah SWT teaches Rasulullah SAW and it's how to respond to their mocking. Allah Ta'ala said, Qul naru jahannam ashaddu harra. Tell them, Muhammad, that the fire of hell is more intense than heat. Hellfire is much hotter, I think. It's extremely hotter than the hot weather that we are having right now.